It had been quite a while since the bell rang. Gavin let out a small sigh, then took one last look at the rooftop before walking away. An ivory light illuminated the corridor through windows, carving the floor into bars of light and dark, like a piano keyboard never to be played again. She had always been so warm and gentle. Without her, even the air felt cold inside the school building. Gavin walked to the fence and climbed over.
At least I said goodbye. Right?
He smiled bitterly. The surrounding fence and bushes remained still, leaving the answer to the evening breeze passing gently through the leaves. There was complete silence in the city. Special Task Force had already dismissed all members. They should have all reunited with their families by then. Meanwhile, the meteor shower raged through the atmosphere, leaving a long, fiery trail behind. Off in the distance, dark smoke could be seen all over the city, most likely made up of the burnt embers of destroyed buildings. Gavin glanced up at the night sky, then jumped onto his motorcycle and rode away. Before he knew it, he had already sped off in her direction. Gavin didn't know why, but somehow he knew that their paths would one day cross again. When he told her to just keep moving forward, he was certain that she would find her own way. No matter how difficult the path ahead was, she would reach her destination, and he would be there, awaiting their reunion. If they could just keep walking forward, they would certainly meet again in the future. And he would never let her go again, no matter what. Gavin raced through the disaster-struck city on his motorcycle. If only he could get just a little closer. Although no new natural disasters had been reported for the moment, the city was still deeply wounded. The roads, originally clean and smooth, were covered in debris and stones. The asphalt was cracked and the battered guardrails were curled up. Once busy and prosperous, Loveland City's center now served as the residents' last refuge. Ah! Suddenly, the sound of scraping metal rang out from the side of the road, followed by the screams of a nearby crowd. A large billboard on top of a building teetered precariously as its connecting steel bars bent and snapped. Gavin swung his motorcycle around, tires screeching. He made an emergency U-turn. He sped toward the building, leaving only the sound of wind and a cloud of dust in his wake. Sensing the danger, the civilians on the street began to run, but the billboard was much too large for everyone to avoid. Finally, the last steel bar snapped in half, and the billboard rapidly fell to the ground below. Some civilians had already closed their eyes, waiting for their imminent doom. But instead of pain, they felt a strong gust of wind rise up from the ground.
Don't panic. Evacuate to an open space.
Gavin raised his voice and instructed the civilians still in a panic. The raging wind transformed into sharp blades, shredding the billboard into countless smaller pieces in an instant, giving off sparks and the smell of pungent gases. Another stream of air carried the debris, stacking it into orderly piles on the ground. The falling billboard disappeared within seconds, and even the pungent gases dispersed in the wind. Gavin breathed a sigh of relief and turned to leave, but was immediately surrounded by the thankful civilians. A little girl with tears in her eyes pulled Gavin's shirt and carefully placed a candy in his hand.
Thank you, mister.
You're welcome.
Excuse me, are you that commander we saw on TV?
The little girl blinked a few times and held onto Gavin tightly, unwilling to let him go.
Yes.
Will you protect us from the stars?
She pointed to the sky above, her eyes full of hope.
Don't worry. I will do everything I can to protect you.
Gavin squat down to pat the little girl's head. His eyes were gentle and reassuring.
And I'm not the only one. A lot of people are doing what they can. For example, there is a very powerful person. She's not here, but I know she's working hard.
Is she even better than you?
Yeah, she's very strong. She overcame a lot of difficulties and has done so many great things.
Is she a fairy? Will she come back after she finishes her work?
Ignoring her mother's gesture, the little girl kept asking more questions.
She will. I believe in her.
The girl didn't seem to understand entirely, but nodded anyway and took out another candy.
Then you have to give this to her when you see her again.
Okay. I promise.
The girl finally smiled and pulled her mother away. Gavin shook his head ever so slightly, indicating to the apologetic mother that he wasn't troubled at all. Gavin paused and looked around for a moment. Then he began clearing up other potential dangers throughout the city. Gravel and debris were blown to the roadside. Collapsing buildings were either reduced into smaller pieces or relocated to somewhere safe. Silently, he cleaned and protected the city, just as he had always done. It was a while before Gavin noticed that there were a lot of people out on the streets. Just like him, everyone was quietly doing something. Some were helping others, and some were clearing up the city, hoping to make this place just a little better than before.
Commander!
Gavin turned to see a young man with a boyish face wearing a military uniform. A few of his peers were also nearby. They were just as young and just as exhausted, but Gavin saw the same passion in their eyes.
We are the reserve members of the Special Task Force medical team. We're on a support mission. It's an honor to meet you, sir.
They stood at attention and saluted. Even their voices were shaking with excitement. Perhaps they were just exhausted or lacked training. Their stance wasn't perfect and the greeting was far too casual. But Gavin didn't mind and nodded in response.
Commander, we await your orders.
Gavin patted his shoulder and told him to relax.
At ease. You should have already been dismissed.
We have, but there's still minor damage nearby, and there are civilians who need medical treatment, so we volunteered to return.
Gavin looked at these young men with determination in their eyes and made a half-serious joke.
Is that why you disobeyed the order?
Another young man responded loudly.
Our commander is still on duty. We will continue to provide our support.
Gavin smiled.
Use your own discretion. Provide the civilians with medical assistance and anything else they need.
Yes, sir.
And take care of yourselves.
Yes, sir.
Last but not least,
Gavin's eyes softened as his smile widened.
spend some time with your family.
The meteor shower lit up the night sky, illuminating those who refused to give up until the last moment. They knew what was coming, yet still chose to keep hope alive, hoping that the world would not end, hoping that there would still be a tomorrow. As the blazing light tore apart the night, they stood, hand in hand, looking up at the starry sky. Gavin leaned up against his motorcycle deep in thought. For so long, the two of them had been protecting this city and this world, along with all the other people who refused to give up. He realized that all they ever wanted was to keep the most basic things in their everyday life. To have a cozy home, to have hot breakfast in the morning and a light left on when returning late at night, to have someone there to say, "Welcome home." To hold the hand of their loved ones and let time slip away, to watch the sun rise and set every day. The minutes ticked away on the screen and continued to approach that fateful time that had been engraved into everyone's minds. But Gavin didn't seem to notice. He was looking at a photo of the girl who he might never see again. Quietly, he whispered the words he never said to her.
If only we could have a little more time. A little longer before the bell rings. A little longer till tomorrow.
The girl was smiling so brightly in the photo, her hair was blowing gently in the breeze.
If only you could stay with me a little longer.
Gavin closed his eyes, and his last whisper was swept all the way to the horizon by the gentle wind. The sky slowly lit up as the meteors broke through the atmosphere, like thousands of scorching suns. Before long, the first comet fell from the sky, its tail burning out before it could reach the ground. Followed by the second, then third, more small fragments began to enter the atmosphere, like the pioneers preceding a full-scale bombardment. Before the meteors could touch the ground, there was a blazing flash in the northern suburbs, followed by loud noises. Gavin looked in the direction of the commotion and frowned. It wasn't long before another loud noise sounded. Without hesitating, Gavin jumped on his motorcycle and headed north to check the situation. He knew full well that his actions were mostly pointless. But even in the last moments of his life, he wanted her world to be the best it could be. Arriving at the northern suburbs, Gavin traveled a few more miles before spotting a large crack in the earth, but it looked nothing like a crater caused by a meteor impact. The crack was so dark and deep that it appeared bottomless. As he turned to leave, he suddenly caught sight of a mysterious light emanating from the darkness. Gavin hesitated briefly, then decided to check it out. He took out his communicator and reported to the Special Task Force out of habit.
Unknown crack sighted in the northern suburb. Commencing investigation. No additional support needed.
Gavin descended into the crevasse as he spoke. It was deeper than he thought. The sky above him had been reduced to a narrow slit, but he could not see anything below other than an endless dark void. The walls surrounding him were no longer made of soil, but of a strange, thicker substance that felt like some kind of metal. The surrounding wind protected Gavin, and the air felt muddier the further he descended. He could no longer judge how far he had come, but the bottom was clearly still far away. Even the sky was no longer visible. The void seemed to have devoured all the light. There was no direction, and darkness and silence were all that remained. Only the downward momentum and the occasional light below his feet told Gavin that he was getting close. After what seemed to be an eternity, he finally reached his destination. At the end of the darkness, there was flowing light. It seemed to take a form that was somewhere between a fluid and a solid. Occasionally, some light would break away and disappear into the air above, which is likely what Gavin had spotted earlier. His first thought was that this place was some sort of unstable alternate space. He pressed his communicator to report the situation, but due to the interference of some magnetic field, he heard nothing but static and had no idea if his message had even been transmitted. Unflinching, he accelerated into the light that should not exist in this world. The light distortion made everything in Gavin's vision strange and oblique. Scenes throughout time scrolled before him. He witnessed ancient buildings being built, interstellar spaceships taking off, the melting of the glaciers once the world froze over, and the formation of galaxies followed by their destruction. All the secrets of the universe seemed to be revealed here. And before him were countless space nodes, each one of them worth a lifetime of careful observation and study. But they did not concern Gavin, as that which he was hoping to find was not here. And besides, this was not the direction he wanted to go. He entered a node in space, then exited through another. There was neither direction nor purpose. He visited many places and traveled through many scenes, finally stopping at the only node that was different from its surroundings. It was like a covered painting surrounded by undulating lights. Gavin looked around and thought to himself that this could actually be the origin of everything. So he took a step forward and walked into it. He felt momentarily dizzy, and then a black door appeared before him. It was the only object in sight, looming in the endless white void. Complex symbols were carved into spirals on the giant door. They seemed to come to life and whisper the answers to the origin of all things. The one that stood out the most looked like a horizontal number 8, surrounded by thorns and irregular shapes. It appeared to have no beginning and no end. Gavin reached out to open the door, but it could not be opened. No matter what he did, the door would not budge.
You're not supposed to be here.
Out of nowhere, he heard a voice. The speaker sounded young, but far too calm for his age. Gavin looked around but saw nothing. He couldn't tell where the voice came from.
Who are you?
Gavin asked.
I am everything, but I am also nothing.
Unsatisfied with this vague answer, Gavin frowned. He thought for a moment and asked another question.
What is this door?
It's a question, but it is also the answer.
What's behind the door?
The time has not yet come. Even if I were to tell you, it would be to no avail. I don't know how you ended up here, but you need to go back now.
The voice once again gave a vague answer, ending the conversation.
Wait!
Go. There is someone waiting for you in the future.
Gavin was not given the chance to respond. An irresistible force gently but firmly threw Gavin out of the space. Before Gavin could make sense of it all, he felt a strange change come over the planet. The next instant, the sun rose from the west and withered grass turned green. The universe continued forward in a backwards timeline, and even the protective wind surrounding him flowed in reverse.